Here we go.
Well, hello there, you amazing, amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. I hope you are all well on this terrific, terrific Tuesday. We survived Monday. You're looking absolutely amazing. Even you trolls, you've done something with your hair today, haven't you? You beautiful, beautiful troll, you. Mwah. Anyway, let's get straight into the meat and potatoes. As this morning, we're talking about none other than Tom Hilton. Because look, I think there's questions around this situation, and I'm going to, this morning, tell you a story that is going to, how can I say, it's going to make you understand that there is, around what happened to Tom Hilton, there is a real reality that Tom Hilton could indeed hold an anger towards Jay Slater. But there's also a situation that could potentially show that there is an active contingent of people out there that are utilising this person to perhaps take our attention away from what really happened in the case. So, for this reason, I have to show you two things. First of all, we're going to talk about this, and that is bits and bobs. Bits and bobs, bobs and bits, he talks shits. That's it. Bits and bobs, bobs and bits, full of shits. Because he did a video, and Wax Unfiltered reacted to it. Because look, what we have to understand is that there are different types of channels, okay? There are different types of channels within the true crime niche. There are those that react to content that is put out there, and it's very important for you, the viewer, yes, you, right there, you, to understand what you're watching. And when you watch a video, you have to decipher between, am I watching someone who is doing research on the case and has found information that is pertinent to the case in question, or am I watching someone who reacts to what other people are putting out there and casting their opinion? This channel here, Harsh Reality, is a channel that looks at content that is out there, looks at news reports, look at things that are being pushed out for you to consume, and decipher with you and for you whether that is content that can be trusted, whether it is right, whether it is honest, whether it is true. Sometimes we will talk about cases, we will look at the facts, we will look at the court documents, we will go through court hearings together, and we will watch it all. We will be the balance between what media wants you to believe and what could potentially be an alternative truth. But I think the issue here is sometimes that people who watch, and I'm not saying this is a purposeful thing, I think that there is a naivety, there is a trust that can be built between content creator and content consumer, and they can get confused. They can get confused at what they're watching. I can hear you now. Get on with it, Harsh. This is taking far too long. Crack on with your point, son. And like I said, Wax did a video, and it was a reactionary video to Bits and Bobs, Bobs and Bits, Talks Shits, and it was talking about Tom Hilton. Tom Hilton, and proving, this is proof, shocking proof, proving what happened. The case is solved. And as a side note, I'm going to be talking about another video that came out, shocking one, torturing and all that. So keep your eyes peeled, we'll talk about that later. I'm just getting warmed up. Yeah, so Wax does this video, and it's this case is solved. Tom Hilton was there, and it's feeding into that storyline. Feeding into the people who believe that Tom Hilton... And look, in a second, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a true story that could sort of go hand in hand. I guess why people are feeding into the Tom Hilton story, so bear with me. But in this video, Wax shows this post, and this guy is, and I'm going to show it on the screen right here. And this is the post that proves that Tom Hilton was in Tenerife. Because I'll tell you what, he is there, and he is listening to the helicopters searching right now. Not right now, right then, when they were searching. He was there. What was it? I've got it here. June 18th. June 18th. Well, look, Sadly, that was bollocks. Yes, because that post was not a Tom Hilton post. And this fucking idiot, he crops everything out of it. That's the warning shot, isn't it? When someone's showing you something, they say, this person said that. This is a Tom Hilton post. But the fucking name is cropped out of it. But it didn't take long for some of you genius people out there, and thank you very kindly to the person who did come to me and say, hold on, there's something up here. There is something up here. And this is the actual post. This is the actual original post right here. So as you can see, that's not Tom Hilton. That is someone completely different. And that post was nothing to do with Tom Hilton. In fact, it would appear that Tom Hilton, at the time, I believe, was in Magaluf. Shagaloof, can't say that. Taking me back to when I was younger. Shagaloof. Anyway, I digress. So it would appear that he was on holiday himself with family members. Wasn't anything. Now, don't get me wrong, he could have done a James Bond. He could have jumped on a speedboat, gone over. Would have only taken him, I don't know, 10 hours, something like that. But it's doable. It's doable. And look, I'm not sticking up for Tom Hilton, and this is why. Because ultimately, we don't really know what happened to Jay Slater. We don't know if there was some form of retribution going on in the background, that someone who was friends with Tom, related to Tom, had something to do with Tom, had got it in for Jay. And how do I know that it's possible? Because I was in nearly the identical situation than Jay. And that is that I had a friend, and I was with a friend, when that friend decided that he would whack someone over the head with a short dumbbell bar. I didn't know he was going to do it, but I was with him at the time. They'd had some issues between them. And look, what happened was my friend was come from a very wealthy family, got a barrister, and he got off the attack. It was literally an attack. He attacked him. He smacked him over the head, and he's got a scar to this day. But anyway, that was on the last day of our school exams. But look, some people will think, well, this was just a kid situation. My friend at the time was 6'4" and built like a brick shithouse. An absolute monster of a kid, and he is to this day. But look, he come from a wealthy family, and he walked. But a few years later, I was in a pub with some other friends, a group of us, quite a large group of us, which is probably a good thing. Whenever I was out, I was always in a crowd of between 15 and 20 people. And some of these, one of them in particular, was someone who was a potential contender, was training for Mr. Olympia at the time. And he ended up walking away from that lifestyle and ended up becoming an artist. He would draw a picture that represented somebody who was in the local town where he lived, that was a homeless guy with a very tragic story who sadly lost his life. Anyway, I digress. Point being, this is a true story. But the person who my friend had whacked over the head and basically got away with, do you know what I mean? Very similar to the Jay Slater situation. He had decided on this particular night that I was the person who was going to get it. I was the person who was going to get it. I didn't know. I just was told that he had been eyeballing me and clearly getting angrier and angrier and angrier as the night progressed, to the point where many of the people who I was with went and had a quiet word with this person. That got resolved very, very quickly, without violence. But the point being that this guy was attacked. He was attacked by someone who was connected to me. I had nothing to do with the attack. I didn't know about the attack. It was just something that I happened to be around. But this lad had remembered years later and was still incredibly angry. So look, true story is I actually get on with him now. We actually have a very good relationship. But this also goes hand in hand with Tom Hilton has spoken about Jay. He's spoken about Jay and said about supporting his family, you know, put it to rest. He's come out recently, done a live stream, said it's fucking boring. And look, that's also very, very possible, because I am in the same situation where I now get on very well with the person who was attacked by someone that I know when I happen to be with them. So I've got both sides of the story here. But my biggest question now is, are people who have access to the public and know that they are being watched, that their content is being spoken about, and that speaking about their content is influencing people, I have to question now whether people are purposefully manipulating those that have the public's ear to point them over here rather than over here. So I guess my question is Tom Hilton and his story with Jay actually now being utilised purposefully to hide what did happen, to take the heat off what happened, and to make people focus over here instead of over here? Now, what I will say off the back end of this, and I'm going to wrap this video up very shortly, and that is, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Understand that from this point forward, I have no affiliation with any other channel on this platform. Absolutely none. If I see something that I like, if I see something that I think is pertinent to you, if it's good to you, if it's going to help you and not hinder you, then I am going to point you in that direction of that channel, that person, and I am going to put a link in the description and the pinned comment of my videos. For anything that I've said in the past, any person that I have spoken about previously, please know that from this point forward, I'm drawing a line in the sand, and I stand as a solo content creator away from anybody else until further notice. And all I will say to you guys is, make yourself fully aware of what you're watching. Are you watching someone who is researching and is allowing you to see what has been researched and leading you in the path of least resistance? Or is there a situation where people are believing that's what they're seeing, but what they're actually watching is someone who is benefiting from the content that's being pushed out there, dramatizing it and packaging it in a certain way that some of you people who are the more trustworthy are believing that this is what is actually the truth? Okay? I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions whatsoever, let me know down below and I will happily speak to you. If you want to email me, my email is in every video description. You can reach out to me and I will talk to you. I try and get back to as many people as I can, but I do get several hundred emails a day across multiple email addresses I have for different reasons. But look, I love you all. You're all amazing. Thank you for coming over here, and I will catch you all later today.